Because I have a huge appetite, I was chosen to treat the Gu family's eldest daughter's anorexia. When we first met, she had just fought with her younger boyfriend. She was so angry that she had not eaten all day. She looked at me irritably. Live comments flashed past. Here we go. That scheming supporting guy will definitely use this chance to seduce the heroine. Can the supporting guy learn his place? Even if they fought, our heroine still loves the male lead, okay? I was still chewing. The comments stunned me. In the end, I silently offered her the food in my hand and mumbled, do you want some dragon fruit? Led by a maid, I arrived outside the Gu family's eldest daughter's bedroom. Loud smashing sounds came from inside. I heard Miss Gu had fought with her younger boyfriend again. Gu Qinghan had always been temperamental and unruly. Only her younger boyfriend could keep her somewhat in line. This fight had triggered her anorexia again. Gu Qinghan had locked herself in her room. She had not eaten all day. The doctor said that having someone who loves food eat in front of her could stimulate her appetite. So Mrs. Gu found me. I have the biggest appetite in my village. I eat 4 meals a day and enjoy every bite. She asked me to put on an eating show and promised to pay for my grandfather's treatment. So I came. At that moment, I was still tightly clutching the dragon fruit the maid had casually shoved into my hand. The maid listened to the commotion inside, looking troubled. So she simply shoved me forward. Go in yourself. I have things to do. I am leaving. Once she left, I eagerly peeled the dragon fruit and took a huge bite. Its sweet, delicate flesh burst across my tongue. As expected of a wealthy family, even their fruit was this delicious. Munching away, I pushed open the door. The room was a complete mess. Gu Qinghan's features were sharp, her expression dark. Hearing me, she turned toward me with open irritation. Our eyes met. At that moment, live comments suddenly floated through the air. Here we go. That scheming supporting guy will definitely use this chance to seduce the heroine. Can the supporting guy learn his place? Even if they fought, our heroine still loves the male lead, okay? If that supporting guy dares to have ulterior motives, the heroine will throw him onto the streets to scavenge garbage for food. That comment scared me so badly I stopped chewing. I stared blankly at the comments. When Gu Qinghan saw I was silent, she grew even more impatient. She clicked her tongue. She looked at the corner of my mouth, smeared with fruit juice, then at the dragon fruit in my hand. Maybe she stared too long. So I thought she wanted some too. So, trembling, I reluctantly offered her my beloved dragon fruit. Before I could swallow my mouthful, I timidly mumbled, do you want some dragon fruit? Gu Qinghan pressed her brow and said coldly, get out. I silently withdrew the dragon fruit. Okay. That night, Gu Qinghan still did not come out to eat. I figured I was about to be fired. After all, Gu Qinghan did not seem willing to accept my treatment for her anorexia. At midnight, I lay in the room the maid had prepared for me. The more I thought, the more worried I became. I worried myself hungry until my stomach growled. Since I had not gotten a chance to perform my eating, I had only eaten 1 dragon fruit for dinner, and I was starving. Unable to bear it, I slipped out of bed and sneaked into the kitchen. I checked the ingredients in the refrigerator, planning to make myself a simple bowl of tomato and egg noodles. Halfway through, I decided to add an extra sausage. For balanced nutrition, I threw in a handful of baby greens. Soon, a huge pot of fragrant noodles was ready. The tomato broth was rich, sweet, and tangy. The scrambled eggs were tender, and the noodles smooth and springy. Glossy green vegetables finished the dish. I squatted in the kitchen and dug in. Just as I was eating so happily I forgot the world around me. A sound suddenly came from outside. Startled, I looked up and met Gu Qinghan's unreadable eyes. I had no idea how long she had been watching me. 3 minutes later, a dim light came on in the dining room. I sat at the table and ate my noodles. Gu Qinghan quietly watched from beside me. At first, her unblinking stare made me uncomfortable. But once the noodles reached my mouth, I forgot all about it. After finishing, I wanted to serve myself another bowl. Gu Qinghan finally spoke, sounding puzzled. Is it really that good? My cheeks were stuffed, so I could not answer. I could only nod eagerly, eyes shining. Gu Qinghan seemed to chuckle. Why are you so silly? She naturally gave me an order, then served me a bowl. My eyes crinkled with delight. Still chewing, I nodded again and again. Luckily, I had made enough for 3 bowls. I could have eaten all 3 myself. But to keep this job, I could spare Gu Qinghan 1 bowl. So I brought out 2 more bowls of noodles. The noodles had softened, but they had soaked up even more flavorful broth. I handed her a pair of chopsticks. Try it. What I made is amazing. Gu Qinghan truly was a young lady. Even the way she ate was elegant. After she took a bite, I stopped eating and hurriedly asked, "How is it?" Gu Qinghan did not answer. She only said, "Keep eating." Okay. I eagerly picked up my chopsticks and continued wolfing it down. I even drank every last drop of broth. When I finished, I found that Gu Qinghan had somehow already eaten more than half of hers. The live comments were dumbfounded. Wait, what? Heroine, what happened to your anorexia? Do you not feel like throwing up whenever you see food? And now you have eaten nearly half a bowl of noodles in one go. That said, I really want tomato and egg. Noodles too. Watching this at midnight has made me hungry. The supporting guy eats so deliciously. I am practically drooling. In the end, I successfully stayed with the Gu family. Gu Qinghan's anorexia had given her serious stomach problems. Mrs. Gu said that every time I got her to eat a meal, she would pay me 1,000 yuan. If she ate a few more bites of fruit cake, she would add another 1,000. So for a while after that, I followed Gu Qinghan around, trying to coax her into eating a little more. Gradually, Gu Qinghan finally began eating a little more. Mrs. Gu was thrilled. She even transferred me to Gu Qinghan's school, so I could urge her to eat more there too. That day, as usual, I placed a sweet mango-filled cupcake on her desk, then hurried back to my own classroom. From my observations over the past few days, I had learned that Gu Qinghan would eat a few extra bites when it was mango. As soon as class ended, I eagerly went to find her, wanting to see whether she had eaten it. But when I reached her classroom, it was complete chaos. Gu Qinghan's younger boyfriend was clutching his chest and struggling to breathe. His arms were covered in red welts. Gu Qinghan anxiously asked what had happened. The boy looked up at me, pointed at me with tears in his eyes, and said, "Li Chuan said I could eat it too, so I did." Who knew he had hidden mango inside, the very thing I am allergic to? The live comments exploded. I knew the supporting guy could not resist causing trouble. See, he could not keep up the act after all. He deliberately gave our male lead mango, trying to trigger his allergy. Oh my god, the male lead looked so miserable. The heroine must be heartbroken. I picked up the cupcake with a bite taken out of it, and explained anxiously, "I clearly told you it was mango cake." He asked me if he could have some. I did not think much of it. I only said he could if Gu Qinghan agreed, and I told him it was mango cake. But the male lead, Wang, would not listen. He only pointed at me and whined to Gu Qinghan. But I did not hear him say that. "Qinghan, it hurts so much." I frowned, wanting to explain further. "How could you possibly not have heard? If you do not believe me, we can check the security footage." Wang's accusation was actually a clumsy lie. All I had to do was check the security footage or have the others who had been there testify, and I could prove my innocence. I looked at Gu Qinghan hopefully, hoping she would believe me. But Wang clutched his chest, his face deathly pale. His eyes brimmed with tears as he stubbornly looked at her. Gu Qinghan forgot everything else. She gathered him into her arms in distress. Before I could say another word, she had no patience left to hear me out. She swept the cake box from my hands onto the floor. The delicate little cupcake hit the floor and became covered in dust. Gu Qinghan carefully held Wang. She cut me off impatiently. "Enough. Wang has always been straightforward. Do you think he would lie to me? Stop trying to defend yourself." With that, she shielded Wang and took him to the hospital. I stared blankly at her retreating back. A wave of grievance rose in me, though not because I had been misunderstood. I was thinking, damn it, I had lost another 1,000 yuan. Silently, I did the math. How many more meals did Gu Qinghan have to eat before I could save enough for Grandpa's surgery? The answer was at least 70 more meals. Fortunately, Wang received prompt treatment for his allergy. Nothing serious happened. So, after Gu Qinghan gave me the cold shoulder for 3 days, she finally deigned to speak to me again. It was already 9 that evening when she called. Her voice was lazy and casual over the phone. "Hello, dummy. Go buy me Pear Blossom pastries from that shop in the west of town. Hurry up. I want some." That pastry shop closed at 10 p.m., which meant I had 1 hour to reach the west side. But the moment I heard there was money to be made, my eyes lit up. Then wait a moment. I will go buy them now. The next second, I heard teasing laughter from the other end. "Sister Gu, where did you find this little maid? He is ridiculously obedient. He speaks so softly and gently, anyone who did not know better would think he was coaxing a child." I could not help frowning. I had grown up in the southern countryside, so even when I spoke standard Mandarin, I inevitably had a slight accent. Gu Qinghan seemed to be in a wonderful mood and hummed in agreement. Smiling, she urged me to hurry along. By the time I bought the pastries and rushed to the location Gu Qinghan had sent, it was already past 10 at night. After I got out of the car, a bleak, icy wind swept past. There were no shops nearby, much less a karaoke bar. Clutching the pear blossom pastries, I stood there in confusion. On the deserted street, a few broken street lamps flickered overhead. I called Gu Qinghan 3 times, but her phone was off every time. So I squatted beneath the street lamp and waited for a long time. Unable to resist, I secretly ate one pastry. When I made my 5th call, she still did not answer. Chewing the pastry, I sadly realized that Gu Qinghan had played me. I did not know how long passed before my legs went numb. Only then did Gu Qinghan finally call me. Her tone was indifferent. Wang had that allergic reaction because of you. He holds grudges and has quite a temper. Chuan, this is just a lesson for you. Remember it next time. On the other end of the call, Wang seemed to punch her lightly in protest. I do not hold grudges. Gu Qinghan gave to helpless laughs. All right, you do not hold grudges. Then she said to me, all right, I sent you the new address. Get here quickly. I wiped my face. I thought, what is done is done. As long as Gu Qinghan was still willing to eat, at least tonight would not have been a total waste. When I reached the private room, laughter and cheerful voices spilled out from inside. When I opened the door, Wang seemed to have just, amid everyone's cheers, kissed Gu Qinghan. The live comments went wild. This is such pure love. Our sweet male lead is so shy after just one kiss. Why do I feel like he wanted the supporting guy to see it? That subtle claim of possession is adorable. The supporting guy does not know, does he? Those pear blossom pastries were actually for the male lead. I am dying. A pathetic lovesick fool always ends up with nothing. Wang's cheeks were still red from his stolen kiss. When he saw me enter, he came over. He casually took the pastries from me. Thanks for going to all that trouble to buy me pastries. He picked one up and put it in his mouth. Then he fed one to Gu Qinghan. Qinghan, you should try one too. Wang held the pastry to her lips. Gu Qinghan unconsciously frowned. She discreetly avoided it, then spoke as though nothing had happened. I am not eating. You eat. All right. Wang lost interest. Then I do not want any either. As he spoke, he casually tossed the remaining pastries aside. I did not cry when I went across town late at night to buy pastries. I did not cry when I squatted on the street for half an hour at midnight. But now that I knew Gu Qinghan had never wanted to eat them at all, my whole world came crashing down. Everything from that entire night piled up. And despite holding it in for so long, my eyes still reddened. Still unwilling to give up, I picked up another pastry. Gu Qinghan, are you really not going to try one? Some of the women beside her laughed. Sister Gu, your little maid is far too obedient. You said you wanted pear blossom pastries once, and he worried over it all night. Come on, just take one bite. He looks ready to cry. Gu Qinghan seemed to be in a better mood again. The pear blossom pastries that had seemed so disgusting moments ago now did not seem quite so unbearable. Her lips curved as she finally took the pear blossom pastry from my hand. She slowly ate it. After leaving the private room, I finally could not contain myself and began to cry. Crying, I walked over to the nearby night market. Through my tears, I ordered a deluxe savory crepe. Back at the villa, I wiped my tears as I gnawed on the crepe. The butler was startled and hurriedly brought me inside. By then, I had grown close to everyone there. The butler exclaimed, "Why are you crying while eating a crepe? It is so good. It made me cry." Clutching my crepe, I sniffled and could not stop myself from complaining. So many pear blossom pastries went to waste. She never even wanted to eat them. She was just messing with me. The butler understood. With a sigh, he led me into the living room. But there was an unfamiliar woman sitting in the living room today. She wore a custom designer gown, and when she heard our conversation, her cool, fathomless eyes quietly settled on me. The butler hurriedly introduced me. Miss Gu. This is the person Madame Gu hired to treat the young Mrs. Eating Disorder. I had been talking behind Gu Qinghan's back, and her sister had heard it. Feeling awkward, I quietly said, "Hello." The woman merely gave me an indifferent glance and nodded slightly. Seeing the crepe in my hand, the butler disapprovingly said, "How can just a crepe be enough? What else do you want? I will make it for you." I blinked. "I want wontons too." Soon, a bowl of wontons was served. The wontons had thin wrappers and tender filling. served in a porcelain bowl with seaweed and shrimp. Steaming hot, they went perfectly with the crepe. My appetite surged, and I dug in at once. But soon, I felt that gaze from the living room settle on me, probing and curious. After a while, she walked over. She said nothing, simply standing beside me and watching me eat. My cheeks were full, so I could not speak. I could only look at her questioningly. After a long pause, she finally spoke. "What price did mother offer you?" I swallowed my food. "Honestly, 1,000 yuan for every meal I get Gu Qinghan to eat." She seemed to laugh softly after hearing that. Then she asked whether I would mind taking another job. "Make sure I eat on time and eat with me. How about 10,000 yuan per meal?" My eyes widened in shock, and I nearly choked. Her fingertips twitched, and she could not resist any longer. She reached out and gently pinched my chubby cheek. When I remained silent, she considered it. "Not enough. Then 20,000. She was as composed as if negotiating a business contract. "I will not develop an eating disorder. I will eat whatever you bring on time, and I will not make you cry. Is that acceptable?" I stopped chewing, utterly stunned. After a while, I opened my eyes wide and asked, "Really?" She nodded. "I would not lie to you." Later, I learned from the servants that the Gu family's two daughters, one had an eating disorder, while the other was a complete workaholic. Although Gu Qinghan's sister was only 4 years older than her, she had successfully launched a business while still in university. After graduation, she took over the family business. She often became so absorbed in work that she forgot to eat. Only when a fierce burning pain struck her stomach at night did she realize she had not eaten. In the end, we settled on 10,000 yuan per meal. Now that I had Gu Ningbing as another major client, I could save enough money much faster and get Grandpa better medical care. For the next 3 days, Gu Qinghan did not come looking for me. This time, I did not go looking for her either. Instead, I took the chance to learn more about Gu Ningbing's food preferences. On the 4th day, I returned to the classroom after lunch. Most people had gone for their afternoon nap. Gu Qinghan, whom I had not spoken to in days, was lounging lazily in my seat. She raised an eyebrow slightly when she saw me. "Have you been busy lately? Why have you not come to see me?" I walked over, not particularly wanting to answer her. Gu Qinghan reached out and touched my cheek. With curious surprise, she asked, "Are you mad?" I took out my textbook and still said nothing. She had been pampered since childhood and had likely rarely faced rejection. For a moment, she fell silent too. A minute later, a box of exquisite pastries was silently pushed onto my textbook. Beside it was a slice of my favorite millefeuille. At last, I looked at her. "Are you apologizing?" Apologizing. Gu Qinghan froze. That word had never existed in her vocabulary. Even when she argued with Wang, he was always the one to back down first. She had simply wanted to see me, so she came. Gu Qinghan did not answer my question. She only said, "I bought it for you." Then, as usual, she gave an order. "Little dummy, we are having dinner together tonight." I had not expected Gu Qinghan to take the initiative to plan a meal. It was like 1,000 yuan was waving at me. "All right," I sighed, no longer wanting to dwell on it. After all, who would turn down money? The freshly baked cookies smelled wonderful. They were sprinkled with crunchy chopped nuts. I opened the box and popped one into my mouth. My eyes lit up as I chewed. So, good. I had another bite. I ate nearly half the box. Only then did I notice Gu Qinghan had been sitting beside me the entire time. After thinking it over, I took out another cookie and offered it to her. Without much hope, I casually asked, "Want one?" Gu Qinghan looked down. She saw my pale fingertips lightly holding the buttery yellow cookie. It looked unexpectedly tempting. A soft laugh escaped her throat. Then she lowered her head slightly. She took the cookie directly from my hand with a bite. Her lips lightly brushed my fingertips. The touch was warm. I yanked my hand back and immediately put distance between us. I frowned in disapproval. The next second, the cream cake beside us vanished. Then it smashed directly onto my head. Sticky cream tangled in my hair, then slowly dripped to the floor. Wang's shrill, piercing voice rang out. "Don't you like to eat? Then I'll let you eat your fill." I slowly wiped my cheek. My hand came away covered in jam and cake. The male lead is so badass. What is with the second male lead flirting with someone else's girlfriend every day? Look how furious he has made our male lead. Still, I do not think the second male lead did anything wrong. Please, stop defending him. Feeding someone else's girlfriend. If that is not flirting, what is? I stood stunned for only a second. Then I reacted. I grabbed the full glass of water beside me and threw it hard at Ding Wang. But someone moved faster, stepping in front of him. The entire glass of water splashed over Gu Qinghan instead. The comments erupted with excitement. The female lead protecting her man is so cool. That was completely instinctive. I am shipping them even harder. I am dying. The second male lead looks like such a clown right now. Everything happened in a flash. For a moment, Gu Qinghan's expression went blank. When she came to her senses, she saw me standing there miserably, my head covered in cream and jam. Ding Wang, meanwhile, was completely unharmed. With red, aggrieved eyes, he hid behind her. Clinging to Gu Qinghan's arm, Ding Wang thanked her in a wounded voice. Qinghan, thank you. If it were not for you, I would have been so embarrassed. This time, Gu Qinghan did not respond to Ding Wang right away. She only looked at me. A few seconds later, she spoke with a frown. A Wang is immature. Do not take it to heart. Ding Wang pouted in displeasure. Why feel sorry for a nanny? I looked at the two of them without speaking. The atmosphere turned tense. Gu Qinghan had probably never seen this expression on me before. A rare flicker of panic crossed her eyes. She blurted out, "That is just how a Wang is. Do you really have to hold it against him? All right, I will help you clean up. I will compensate you tenfold for the clothes." As she spoke, she reached out to me, but I calmly stepped out of her reach. No need. Gu Qinghan softened her tone, a rare occurrence. Then tonight, I will have the butler make some of your favorite dishes, and we can eat together. I looked up and met her eyes seriously. I said, word by word, no need. Not ever again. Under everyone's strange stares, I walked out of the school. Standing at the school gate, I felt lost. For a moment, I did not know where to go. Then I suddenly remembered. It had been a very, very long time since I had eaten a meal Grandpa cooked over a wood fire. As I stood there in a daze, a discreetly luxurious car slowly pulled up before me. Thinking I was blocking its way, I quietly moved aside. But the rear window suddenly rolled down. The woman inside looked over at me. Her brows drew together slightly, but only for a moment before her gentle expression returned. How did you end up like this? Forgetting my sadness, I stared at her in surprise. Should Gu Ningbing not be at work at this hour? What are you doing here? Gu Ningbing said gently, you did not remind me to eat lunch today. I thought perhaps something had happened to you. As she spoke, the driver got out and opened the door for me. Inside the car, Gu Ningbing took out a handkerchief and carefully wiped the mess from my hair. Then she gently wiped my cheek. For some reason, it felt a little itchy. In the end, she took me to her private apartment. Then she had me take a shower. When I came out after showering, Gu Ningbing's assistant had just delivered a meal to the door. The assistant handed me the meal as though entrusting me with a grave responsibility. He said solemnly, Mr. Li, I am counting on you to bring this meal to President Gu. Not understanding why, I nodded. The assistant heaved a sigh of relief and patted my shoulder with world-weary gravity. Good luck, Mr. Li. Without thinking much of it, I headed to the study to call Gu Ningbing to eat. Once inside, I realized she seemed to be in a video conference. I could not help recalling what the butler had said. Gu Ningbing hated being disturbed while working. As I hesitated, Gu Ningbing looked over at me. With no other choice, I forced myself to say, Miss Gu, it is time to eat. The entire video conference fell silent as soon as I spoke. But Gu Ningbing's expression remained unchanged. She calmly told everyone on the call, we will end today's meeting here. Then she closed her laptop. The food was already laid out on the dining table. Since I had already eaten lunch, I quietly sat nearby and watched Gu Ningbing. Gu Ningbing ate very differently from me. She ate with refinement and grace, and she was not a picky eater with an aversion to food like Gu Qinghan. She was a pleasure to watch. I could not help thinking the assistant had made too much of it. Gu Ningbing clearly ate on time and without fuss. Perhaps because I had watched her for too long. Gu Ningbing finally put down her chopsticks and looked at me. Are you still upset? I did not understand at first. Huh? She reassured me about Ding Wang's mango allergy. I had someone retrieve the security footage. This was not your fault. I have already sent the footage to Gu Qinghan's phone. Whether she believes it is up to her? But, Li Chuan, you deserve to be cleared. I was stunned. I had not expected her to quietly take care of it for me. After a long pause, I mumbled, thank you. After thinking for a moment, Gu Ningbing somehow produced a little cake. Want some? I knew she might be trying to cheer me up. But now, whenever I saw cake, I could not help remembering what had happened at school. My mood sank with it. But before the seconds had passed, I suddenly realized something. Because of Gu Qinghan and Ding Wang, I had actually lost my love for little cakes. They were no longer a symbol of sweetness to me. Instead, they brought nausea, anger, and sadness. When I realized that, I frowned deeply. That will not do. Little cakes are innocent. How could I hate little cakes? With that thought, I finally made up my mind. I took out my phone and typed a message to Madame Gu. I am sorry, Madam. I do not think I am suited for this job. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, but I have ultimately decided to resign. I also hope your daughter's eating disorder improves soon. After sending it, I felt completely refreshed, as if I could eat 5 little cakes in one sitting again. Then comments floated across my vision. Well, now he has done it. The supporting male character has enraged both leads. Just wait for the heroine to toss him onto the street to scavenge for scraps. Wait, why is the supporting male character with the strongest boss in the whole story? He is not planning to ask the big boss for help, is he? She may have the power to help him. But how could she possibly be so accommodating? HMM. Gu Ningbing is actually the strongest boss. I had been quietly worried that Ding Wang would have Gu Qinghan retaliate against me. But after noticing those comments, I could not help thinking, if I got on Gu Ningbing's good side, would she lend me a hand? He could not seduce the heroine, so now he plans to seduce the big boss. The supporting male character looks so innocent and cute. Who knew he had so many ulterior motives? That is hilarious. Does he not know the big boss is even harder to handle than the heroine? If he provokes the big boss, there will be nothing left of him. Those comments made me uncertain again. Gu Ningbing, utterly unaware, saw me lost in thought and sighed helplessly. The next second, the one those comments called, the strongest boss, leaned close. She gently pinched my cheek, guiding me to look at her. A nearly imperceptible hint of grievance flashed through her deep, quiet eyes. Li Chuan, do not think about Gu Qinghan. I pay you 10,000 yuan per meal. You should think about me more. Over the next few days, I brought Gu Ningbing meals on time. Sometimes her assistant bought them, sometimes I made them myself. Whenever I arrived carrying food, she immediately set aside her work and ate with me. It was as though she had paid for a dining companion. Before long, even the receptionist knew me. They looked at me with reverence. I was puzzled, but did not ask. One day, I personally prepared a lavish meal, then eagerly went to find Gu Ningbing. But as soon as I reached the company entrance, I saw Gu Qinghan seemingly arguing with Gu Ningbing. As I drew closer, I heard Gu Qinghan say irritably, Gu Ningbing, what right do you have to freeze my card? Gu Ningbing accepted the documents her assistant handed her with one hand and said casually, Mother cannot control you, so I have to do it for her. Gu Qinghan, have you been spoiled so badly lately that you think you are above all rules? Gu Qinghan had never accepted being controlled, and she was about to say more. Standing nearby awkwardly, I could only say softly, Miss Gu, I will wait for you over there. The moment I spoke, both women looked at me. Gu Qinghan's previously dark expression vanished the instant she saw me. She raised her brows at Gu Ningbing and said, My little fool came to see me. I do not have time to waste on you. With that, she walked toward me. She took the meal from my hands with feigned disdain, though her eyes shone brightly. Hey, little fool. You are finally willing to talk to me. You have not come to eat with me for days. You even ignore my messages. You have gotten bold. The servant's food is disgusting. Without you, I cannot eat. She opened the lunchbox. Her eyes narrowed happily. Did you make this for me yourself? All right, then I will. I took the lunchbox straight from her hands. Sorry, this is not for you. She raised an amused brow. What? Is my last name not Gu? I was confused and did not understand why she thought that. Still, I said, this is for your sister. I will not ask you to eat with me again. After saying that, I took the lunchbox and turned to leave. Gu Qinghan suddenly grabbed my wrist, her brows furrowing. What do you mean? Explain yourself. The confusion in her eyes seemed genuine. I tried to hold it back, but I could not help asking. Did you see that surveillance footage? What footage? You did not receive it. Gu Qinghan thought for a moment. Wang accidentally broke my phone a few days ago. All my chat history was gone. Did you send me a message? I gave her a complicated look. It is nothing. Whether Gu Qinghan had seen the footage no longer seemed important to me. Gu Qinghan's frown deepened. It felt as if something inside her had gone hollow, leaving her inexplicably panicked. But I only pulled free from her grip. Then I said again, someone else will eat with you from now on. You do not need to message me anymore. I thought I had made myself clear enough. Soon, someone new would come treat her eating disorder. She and I would have nothing to do with each other anymore. Having settled the matter, I could not help but feel relieved. So I stopped worrying about Gu Qinghan and eagerly jogged over to Gu Ningbing. After spending this time together, I was no longer so afraid of her. Gu Ningbing did not speak much, but she responded to everything I said, as if she could accept every part of me. I chirped, "Ta-da. Guess what I made today?" Gu Ningbing took the lunchbox from my hands. She played along and thought for 2 seconds, then said gently, "Cola braised chicken wings." I was stunned. "How did you know?" "You told me the day before yesterday. You said your cola braised chicken wings were delicious." I had not expected her to remember something I had said so casually. "You got it right. Then I will let you have a few extra." Gu Ningbing smiled too. "Thank you for the reward, Lord Li Chuan. I like it very much." As I went upstairs with Gu Ningbing, I happened to look down. Gu Qinghan was still standing downstairs. She stared in the direction I had left, seemingly lost in thought. In the days that followed, I attended classes while continuing to eat with Gu Ningbing. One day, while I was bent over a test paper, I overheard my classmates gossiping. They said Wang and Gu Qinghan had a huge fight, then broke up. Wang eventually transferred to another school. I did not pay much attention and kept working on my test. As I was working through a problem, the classmate beside me tapped my shoulder. "Li Chuan, Gu Qinghan is looking for you outside." I looked up toward the door. My eyes met Gu Qinghan's weary gaze. She stood in the doorway, looking as if she would not leave unless I went out. With no other choice, I went out and asked what was wrong. Gu Qinghan stared at me. After a long silence, she said hoarsely, "Li Chuan, I am sorry." I restored my chat history. I saw that surveillance footage. I was wrong to misunderstand you before. I froze slightly. I had not expected this to be why. Gu Qinghan, who had always been so arrogant, lowered her eyes and said quietly, "I have already broken up with him. I made him transfer schools. Please do not be angry anymore, all right?" At the same time, a flood of comments floated across the air. "The plot has fallen apart. How did the male and female leads break up?" Honestly, I could not stand it anymore. These two leads are completely insane. What did the supporting male character ever do to deserve this? I said before that the supporting male character was innocent. You all said my mom was up in the sky. Can my mom come back now? I have been sick of these leads for ages. If watching the supporting male character eat were not so satisfying, I would have dropped this story. So, what is the heroine's attitude now? Why does it feel like she has fallen for the supporting male character? I stopped reading the comments and sighed. Gu Qinghan, I do not care about any of that anymore. Back then, I followed you around and coaxed you to eat more only to earn an extra 1,000 yuan. I have resigned now. Your affairs have nothing to do with me anymore. Gu Qinghan raised her eyes. She stared at me intently. It was only for money. Yes, only for money. Though at the beginning, I really had considered getting on her good side. After all, without her, I might not have been able to scrape together even half of Grandpa's surgery cost. So I could put up with her temper and the way she loved making things difficult for people. But the repeated misunderstandings and accusations made me start doubting whether I was fit for this job. Gradually, I grew tired too. The corners of Gu Qinghan's eyes reddened as she asked unwillingly, "What about when you went to the west side of town at night to buy me pear blossom pastries?" I answered sincerely, "That was for the money too. Luckily, you took a bite in the end. So my effort was not wasted." After that, my desk drawer would always have breakfast, snacks, or fruit in it. Before long, my classmates were all saying that Gu Qinghan was pursuing me. When my teacher called me into the office, I said seriously, "I need to work hard for the college entrance exams. I will not date anyone." When I left the office, I saw Gu Qinghan standing there, pale-faced. She was not far away. I did not know how long she had been listening. I did not look at her again and returned to class to study. A few months later, the college entrance exams were over. On the day the results came out, I was having breakfast with Gu Ningbing. When I saw my score was more than enough to get into my dream top-tier university, I instantly threw my arms around the person beside me. Gu Ningbing, I got in. I got in." Gu Ningbing held my waist, her eyes curving as she praised me softly. Our Xiao Chuan is amazing." Once I calmed down, I realized our position was rather intimate. She had practically gathered my whole body into her arms. Her low, gentle voice reached my ears, making my ears turn red despite myself. After the results came out, I also received a substantial scholarship from the school. And it was finally the day of Grandpa's surgery. The doctors and medical equipment were the very best, but I could not help feeling worried. Gu Ningbing postponed her work and waited quietly with me outside the operating room. I gripped her hand so tightly that my palm broke into a sweat. After what felt like forever, the doctor came out. The operation was a success. He will need to remain in the hospital for observation, but if his recovery goes well, he can be discharged. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. That evening, Gu Ningbing went to handle some work. She instructed her assistant to bring me dinner. When someone knocked on the door, I thought it was the assistant. I hurried to open it, only to find Gu Qinghan outside. She carried several expensive gifts. Her reason was perfectly proper. I came to visit Grandpa. I hope he recovers soon. I had no choice but to let her in. Seeing that I was silent, Gu Qinghan somewhat awkwardly tried to make conversation. After a while, I walked her out of the hospital room. She stopped in front of me, a flicker of nervousness in her eyes. Chuan, there is something I need to tell you. I looked at her, sensing what was coming. Then I heard Gu Qinghan say, I like you. Can you give me a chance to pursue you? Though I had expected it, I still could not help but freeze when she said it aloud. Before I could answer, an arm wrapped around my shoulders. A cool voice spoke. Get in line. I turned and saw Gu Ningbing, who was supposed to be at work. She held a lunchbox in one hand and used the other to separate Gu Qinghan from me. Gu Qinghan's expression darkened when she saw her. She spoke through gritted teeth. Sister, I was the one who met him first. Why? Why do you get to go before me? Gu Ningbing raised an eyebrow slightly. She replied evenly, perhaps because I have never had an ex-boyfriend. Grandpa recovered well and was discharged not long after. Sometime later, he said he wanted to invite Gu Ningbing over for dinner. He was an excellent cook, and although we lived in the countryside, the ingredients were wonderfully fresh. That morning, the chicken was still pecking at cabbage leaves. By noon, both the chicken and cabbage were on the table. Fresh coconut was stewed with chicken, making the meat tender and the broth delicately sweet. The ribs bought at the market that morning were turned into sweet and sour ribs in a large iron pot by noon. He also simmered a clay pot seafood congee over a low flame. The congee was rich and creamy, and the shrimp and crab had all been caught from the little river beside the village. I had worried Gu Ningbing would not be used to the countryside, but she adapted perfectly well. She even ate a great deal to show her respect. After dinner, Grandpa pulled me aside. He whispered, so, when did you two get together? I scratched my head, my ears reddening. We have not. Grandpa was stunned. I have met plenty of people in my life. That girl definitely has feelings for you. No matter what, Grandpa supports you. So, shortly before school started, Gu Ningbing and I got together. As I packed for college, I ran into Gu Qinghan, whom I had not seen in a long time. She seemed much thinner. Gu Qinghan watched me quietly for a long time. Then she suddenly asked, Chuan, if I had seen that recording sooner, would things between us not have come to this? The branches were thick with leaves, and the sunlight was glaring. For a moment, I looked at her in a daze. For no reason, I thought of the night we first met. A dim yellow lamp glowed over the table as we sat together. Despite her anorexia, she had unusually finished the noodles I made. Back then, I thought Gu Qinghan was actually so easy to coax. But later, if she had promptly investigated Ding Wang's allergic reaction and found out the truth right away, if she had not tried to get back at me for Ding Wang and left me standing alone on the street late at night, if that cake had not been thrown at my head. I looked at her seriously and said each word distinctly. Gu Qinghan, there are no ifs. Later, Gu Qinghan went abroad to study. A more specialized team helped treat her anorexia. The butler quietly told me that Gu Ningbing had arranged it all. I was somewhat surprised. Gu Ningbing had sent her abroad. Before I could say anything else, Gu Ningbing appeared behind me. She pulled me inside and sat me on her lap. Holding me like a child, she leaned down and kissed me again and again. Her cool woody scent slowly enveloped me, just as her kisses left me lightheaded. I heard her say, sounding a little troubled, she would not stop clinging to you. It isn't right for her to pine after her own brother-in-law every day. Amused, I looked up at her. Draped all over her, I kissed her back. Then I soothed her. Gu Ningbing, you are the one I love most.